Let me wash my sin away. Oh, I've been traveling down this road, and how my soul has gone astray. I can feel it like a bullet, no matter where I tread. All my days I have been running from these ghosts within my head.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hunter Loves VoicePlay podcast, Geoff edition. My watch is currently vibrating, so give me 2 seconds here. Hang on a second. There we go. Now I'm back. Hopefully my sound is going to be okay today because I have a new laptop and a new setup with my recording. So this might be a little bit more different. It might be a little bit new. So hear me out on this. Okay, so we're back in Geoff's world, and we're going back to not a fairly older video that he's done. By today's standards, it would be a little bit older. No podcast is complete without coffee. I mean, you know, because slurping into the microphone is super attractive, right? Yeah, I'm back. The last couple of days have been very, very difficult for me, and I might explain my reasons why, or I might not, because sometimes I don't have to. But yes, I'm back. So let's get into this. So I put out a poll on my community page asking what you guys wanted to hear out of Geoff, and it was a resounding 50% for Man of Constant Sorrow. So here we are with Man of Constant Sorrow. So Man of Constant Sorrow, it was one, I had heard of the song, but I had never actually watched the movie that it was from. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Never watched it. Again, like I said, I've heard of the song, but I never actually watched the movie. So I went back and I looked up the clip of George Clooney, the George Clooney, and singing it with the band by the name of the Soggy Bottom Boys. And like, however the hell you come up with a name like that is beyond me. It just always makes me laugh because it's just like, that's just so like comedic and just, it's perfect writing style, right? So yeah, Soggy Bottom Boys, and I'm not entirely sure about the origin of this song. I'm not entirely familiar with what it means or what it's about, or even in the movie what it's about. I think it's talking about moonshine. I could be wrong, but it was just not a movie that really tickled my fancy, so I was like, whatever. But yeah, the song is it's a fine tune. It's fun. It's it's basically talking about a guy who's, you know, he's gotten himself into trouble, and the only way out is pretty much death. Like, just to sum it up, it's pretty much, you know, just because he's going to be sleeping in his grave. And that's pretty much just all it is that it's like just telling the story of like how I've struggled through life, and now all of my wrongs have caught up to me, and now I'm gonna die, I think. So that's a little bit off the cuff because I don't have anything in front of me right now just to like really do research on, and I really should research these a little bit more, but that takes time and effort that I don't necessarily have, or that I am not willing to apply. So yeah, I listened to the original song and I was like, it's a lot more twangy. It's very much more twang. Like, it's very, what's the expression? Like, very redneck. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm instantly thinking Dukes of Hazzard when I listen to that song. And I'm like, oh, geez. Like, I'm picturing moonshine. I'm picturing, you know, just... Let me get into Geoff's version here for a sec. So he definitely has the same type of arc in this video, but he makes it, you know, in Geoff's style. He makes it more his own thing, of course, just like he always does. And the video, my God, I've watched the behind the scenes on how he did it, and it worried me for a minute. It really worried me. I mean, but thank goodness, you know, being on Patreon, you got to have like an inside look of what he was walking on, and the train tracks he was walking on were not in use. They were not active. So thank God, because there was a lot of like, are you friggin' nuts of deciding to go to a couple of train tracks just to record a video? And they were looking for a couple, and they found one, but it was still active. And Geoff was like in a panic. Like he was full crisis, because he's like, nope. He's like, I'm not doing this, because he's like, if I do this, I'm going to turn into meat spray on these tracks, because there is a train coming. And that was Lane's idea, by the way. Lane had very psychopathic tendencies towards Geoff, let me tell you. Jesus. Anyway. So they finally found train tracks, and then Geoff proceeds to walk down those train tracks while he's singing and doing his thing. And again, they're not active. But of course, he's encouraging people not to walk down train tracks. Trains are big and strong, and you are soft and squishy. So don't do it. So let me get into the song here. I'm getting off track. Oh my God. Yeah, so the arrangement itself is actually pretty catchy. Like, I get a lot of Take Me Home Country Roads type of vibe. But I have a theory, and my theory might not be correct, but when the lyrics say that it's like 4 long years I've been in trouble, well, what the heck happens after the fact of Man of Constant Sorrow? I think we were given, well, Folsom Prison Blues eventually, if you were to follow the clone story. So it's kind of interesting when you think about it, because it's like they're in the mine collapses, they finally are like kind of out there looking for work, they die, they turn into ghosts, end up in prison, and then get resurrected? How does that work? Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, that's the theory. It's a very complicated story, but a story nonetheless. So yeah, Geoff's arrangement of this one is pretty cool, I will say. Because it's just like, it has that Western vibe to it, but it's also something that you can enjoy a little bit. A lot of people don't necessarily like that song. I think because a lot of people don't know about it, or it's just been overplayed a lot. But that's people's own personal opinion on that. And I'm gonna slurp my coffee. Why not? So yeah, I think a lot of people just didn't appreciate that song so much because of just of like the style of it. Because people, like a lot of people, you'll ask anybody, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I hate country." But this one, Man of Constant Sorrow, like when it first came out, I was listening to it on repeat because it's just so catchy and so cool. And Geoff, I love when he dives into his Western twang, because like he's originally born from Virginia, but he moved to Florida when he was about 6 years old, but he still has that Virginian twang that he hasn't really lost. And I think it's kind of also why he dives into the more Western side of things, is because he kind of gets to bring it out a little bit more. And I appreciate that, because it's like he gets to kind of dig deeper into his roots and into his background and kind of just enjoy it a little bit, even though he doesn't remember a lot of Virginia. But he just does his own thing. And I think Western kind of, it is so funny how he does Western stuff when the dude listens to Weezer on the daily. Like it's just, it's funny. But he likes all genres, so I guess that's why he went for a musician type of route. But yeah, so arrangement, God, focus me. Arrangement style, it's very Western. It's very just like there's like a lot of guitar. And no, if you're watching the video, he did not play the guitar. He cannot play guitar, unfortunately. He knows, like, chords and everything, but he cannot play. He plays piano. That's good enough. So all of the guitar sounds that you're hearing in there are MIDI. So there's that. So I would just like to just give Geoff a huge amount of appreciation for this, because he managed to write a bridge for this song. He added in his own bridge, and just the ebb and flow of this song in particular, it's like, he's always doing his storytelling arranging first. Like, he's always getting to the crux of the story, saying whatever character might be going through, and and harmonies galore. He didn't overuse his bass range that much in this one, which I was surprised, because, like, I mean, I'm not to say that he doesn't overuse it. Not to say that he doesn't overuse it. It's just kind of more that it's a little bit more difficult for, like, I think depending on what the song needs. Like, if he needs more moodiness, he's going to use a little bit more bass to get some of those points across. But for this one, it was like, no, he just needed a little bit minimal. But I was not expecting, at the very beginning, when he hits his first low note, for him to carry it for as long as he did. I was very surprised by that, because I was like, I had listened to it, and I was like, oh, okay, like, he just, kind of goes on, and then it fades out. No, there's no fade at all. He drops off. Like, he holds it, and then he just drops. And I'm like, okay, that was new. I was not expecting that at all. Because it's like, sometimes it's like I'll just be listening to it off the cuff, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. Like, it's like a month goes by, and then I pick up another song, and then I'm like, oh, I was not expecting that to be in there, or I missed that completely. So, it's always like I said, those little Easter eggs that always come up to the surface in these types of songs, right? Yeah, so the bridge, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I was like, I wasn't as familiar with the song, so I didn't necessarily know that that it was in there until I had did a little bit of research, and I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute, he wrote a bridge for this thing? No way. And that's like my favorite part of the song. It's just the bridge. And it's because it flows perfectly. The lyrics, like, he wrote the lyrics for it. He had some trouble, but like trouble writing it, but he did it great. And there was like a certain point last year where Geoff was doing like kind of like a series of writing bridges for certain songs. Like, he helped co-write, whatever. He helped out with the bridge in Golden Hour. So that was always surprising, and I'm like, you're just writing bridges left and right, aren't you? Like, geez, it's just like, I mean, good for you, but geez, man. Yeah, and that's like my favorite part of it, because it's like, well, like, how does the bridge go again? So he starts off with, now take me to the water, let it wash my sin away. I've been traveling down this road and my soul has gone astray. I can feel it like a bullet no matter where I tread. All these days I have been running with these ghosts within my head. And on head, he does a very good little run right there. And I'm just like, oh, that really, that works. And it's like, it's always ups and downs. Like, it's just kind of like just treading the waters, but it's also just enjoying, what the song has to offer. And he just does so well with it every single time when he just sits down to do it. And like, watching the video, I'm like, I hope your butt isn't getting super sore from, what the hell is that sound? Anyway, is that from my computer? Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, it just happens to be that yeah, like he's always just looking for fun with this thing, and I completely lost my track of thought. I am like so sorry, but this one just, you know, it's just like the waves of things. Like it has a very steady flow, you know. And well, like, oh, that's what I was gonna say. His butt was probably sore because he was sitting on the train tracks. Yeah, he was sitting on the train tracks as he's filming this, and Lane was a steady cam operator for him, so he got to be stuck with Lane for the whole day. Poor Geoff. I feel so sorry for him. The karaoke track is good as well. It's super fun. It's just like, and I love the karaoke track specifically because it's like, if you're not willing to like listen to the song itself, you can listen to the karaoke track as like an instrumental thing, and then it's like, it, like, for me, it helps me focus. It's one of those things that it's like, if I put on one of the instrumental tracks, I can still get stuff done that I have to get done. Okay, my fan stopped shooting flames out. No, I'm kidding. This is a brand new computer. I just wasn't expecting the fan to get as noisy as it was, and oh my god, there's vacuum. Okay, are you done? This is what makes all of my recording a whole lot difficult when I'm at home, when people are home. So, god. Anyway. It's a fun song. It's toe tapping, you know. Like, I think at the start I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know how to feel about this. I was on the fence with this one, really, because I was like, I just didn't know what it was about, and, you know, what the hype was about it, and why he chose it. Like, I was like, why? But then once I listened to it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. And then, because like once I heard the bridge, I was like, well, there you go. I was like, you rewrote this song entirely. Like, it's just like, you made it your own, and I appreciate you so much for that. Geoff always putting in those surprises when you're least expecting them. And then once you do hear them, you're like, oh, this is interesting. And I kind of like just his harmonies are always so good. It's like I can listen to his harmonies over and over and over. I specifically like them better than bass notes, just saying. Because not to say that Geoff isn't a terrific bass. He is. My god. He is a terrific bass. He's getting better, you guys. If you guys listen to Unshaken, oh my god, he's not even using his subharmonic register as much anymore. He's diving more into chest, and some of those subs are coming out through from his chest. And it's like, dude, you're perfecting the technique, and I appreciate the countless hours of practice and stuff that you've had to go through to get to that point. It's unbelievable. I was making a couple of jokes before I sat down to do this while I was watching the video. It was kind of funny because it's like, it's like, well, no wonder you ended up in Folsom Prison Blues. You know that you're not supposed to be walking down the train tracks. But then you end up in Folsom Prison. But that didn't really work out because, you know, Folsom Prison is about the character shooting somebody in Reno, committing murder. So, you know, I mean, if he got like a citation or like got, you know, in trouble for walking on train tracks, that's still a believable thing too as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, what are some of the key things out of Man of Constant Sorrow that I haven't talked about? Yeah, like the arrangement ebbs and flows. It's something that's listenable. You know, there's not a lot of moments that really really speak out to me as much as some of the other ones. Like, it's probably because I haven't given this one as much attention, but that bridge, I think that's like the gravy on top of everything, if you like gravy. If you don't like gravy, then, you know, just pick one of your favorite sauces to go with this. Because, yeah, the bridge is what really does it. And it's like, I think he's used a lot of native instruments for Man of Constant Sorrow. Because it just, like, I think Native Instruments is like his best friend by now. Because he just uses them in almost everything. And it is just, he just has fun with it, I think. But, he's getting tired now with some of this. But aren't we all? I mean, there were even times for me, like last week, I was like, I better get my butt into gear because I need to record something for you guys. So this is coming out of like a very depressed, very stressed out, very tired me. So, if this one doesn't perform as well, I hope you guys will forgive me because this has been such a very difficult thing for me to do. Like, for me to pick it up again after, not being part of it for so long. And plus, things happened. Like, last Saturday, I was ready just to sit down and record, but I had no time, and I just was not feeling it because I was physically ill. So, all excuses aside, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.